Okay, I've been requested to show how we can do a necklace and actually put it onto an image. Now, it's a potential student who's asked me if this is covered in the jewellery class, which it isn't in that respect of referencing. So he's basically sent me this website and he basically wants to do something like this. So he wants to put his own logo, his own jewelry necklace into this piece. So I thought, oh, it's quite good, I'll add it on to this course to show you guys how to do that. So the image he sent me, if I'm taking this image, I can click on it and I can right hand click and I can just save image as, and I'll save that on my desktop. So the main thing is I'm not going to be doing the actual chain here. I'm just going to be appending in, or using Photoshop to remove this and append in a new necklace. Okay, so let's have a look at our file inside of Photoshop. Okay, so here is the image that I was sent, and the first thing I need to make sure is, if we go to our canvas size, that it is square. If it isn't square, then just amend in here under canvas size to make sure that it is square. Okay, so if we look at this, we can see pixels are 858 by 858, and this is important to remember for the document size inside ZBrush later. All right, that's really important for positioning our piece. So we've got this. So what I'm going to do is I make a duplicate copy of this, and I can then erase this Lauren part out. Now the file he sent me is this one here, and it's obviously got that necklace in there. So, you know, if I had a file like this, I could just take it and position this straight inside of this file, but the angle's wrong, so that's not going to work. So this is what he's got. He's also said that he's using Illustrator to produce this out, so we need to make a black and white of this as an alpha to do our extraction inside of ZBrush. So if I was using an Illustrator file, I could open Illustrator in here and make sure it's black and white. So let me just do something now. So here I have Illustrator open. I'm just going to go to custom width, and I'm going to make sure it's all square. So I don't really care about size, just want to make sure that it's square. So I'm going to do a document of 210 by 210. Not that this even matters, because I'm going to take this in Photoshop, but just make sure it's all the same. I'm going to create that. It will set up a new document, and I'm just going to do some text in here. So I don't want that. Okay, let's go in here, grab our text tool, just put that in there, and type Adriana. Okay, which is my wife's name, and to our fonts, and change this font. I'm just going to put this over here just so it's easier for me to see, and choose a script font for this particular one. Come on, where are you? There we go, something like that. Let's go bold with it. Okay, and I'll just change this size of the type as well. Let's go to Windows, type, character, and here we go. So I've got this here. What's going on? Hold on, let me go back. Make that something like that. That will be good. All right, so I've got that. I'm going to make some changes inside Photoshop. I'm just more comfortable in Photoshop, but let's just export this file out. I'm just going to save this as, let's just save this, and I've got it Adriana. So this will be my base for what I'm trying to do. So save that on my desktop. I've got it as an AI file, and I'm just going to save that. And that's all fine. Click OK. So now I've got that open. I'm going to now close it because I've saved it. And let's put this. So I've got my Illustrator file here. So I'm going to right hand click, and I want to open this with Photoshop. Click OK. It'll load a preview. I'm going to keep all this the same. It's fine. Change it if you want to. And there it is there. So what I do now is I just go down to my image, my canvas size. Before I do that, I'm just going to position this in the middle here. Canvas size. Copy that width. Extending from the middle, not from the sides. Okay. Click OK. That's cool. I can flatten this now because go to layer, and we would just want it black and white now. So for you, this 100%, you can see it's nice and sharp. I want to make it slightly blurred, so I'm going to just make a duplicate of this. Right hand click, duplicate the layer, just so I've always got that original. And then I'm going to go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and we're just going to slightly anti-alias it. It just works better for our extractions. And I'm going to click OK. Okay, so now I'm going to go and I'm going to save this as a JPEG, and we'll save that in our images folder. Just click save, and it's important to note I'm going to put this maximum quality. Click OK. So now what we've got, and it's really important that you make sure that your canvas size is square, because remember our original image that we're using is also square. Yeah, image size square 858. Okay, so with that in mind, now what we're going to do is jump into ZBrush and just create our thing before we add it to this. So I pause the video whilst I open ZBrush up. Oh, one last thing before I forget, I want to also make sure that this is linked, because obviously if it's jewelry it needs to be one piece. This back piece here is fine because it all links up, but this piece doesn't. So I need to link all these pieces together. So I've reopened my Illustrator file, and I'm going to just use this little selection tool here, polygon selection, and I'm going to go round this like this, double click, use the move tool. I'm going to move it so it intersects this piece here. Good. Control D to deselect, and I'm going to do the same with this piece here as well. So I'm going to go around here and use the move tool. I'm just going to link it up with this. Control D, and finally this little piece here, and move that, and I'm just going to move it down so it's like on the edge there. So we've got something like that. Okay, now I just need to go and do my canvas size again. So take that biggest height, that biggest width, Control C, Control V, from the middle, click OK. Take this, go to layers, flatten image, duplicate image, Control J, and go in and blur it, Gaussian blur, same as we did before. Just a little bit of blur. Then I'm going to save this as, and we'll save it as a JPEG, replacing that one. Click save. And okay, right, let's jump into ZBrush now. So inside ZBrush, I'm going to go to here. We've done this before. Go to Plane 3D, drag this out, go straight into edit mode, make this a polymesh 3D. Yep, and Alt key, move that down straight there. So I want to go and subdivide this. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to turn smooth off, and I'll subdivide this to about level 6, actually maybe level 7. And now I'm going to go into my alpha. I'm going to go import, going to go into my desktop, and I'm going quite quick with this because you've done the course, so you guys know what's going on. Put the alpha in there, come down to the masking, and we're going to go mask by alpha, it'll appear on here. Okay, now I need to do my extraction of this, so I'm going to just turn this at an angle. I'm going to go down to my extraction under my subtool palette, And I'm going to leave it on default at the moment. I'm turning this a little bit more. I'm just going to do the extraction. This will take a little bit of time. That's not too bad. I'm just checking the back. You might want it a bit thicker than that. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. I might actually make this slightly thicker. That looks good. And I'm going to click accept. So it's appeared on here. And that's our logo. Good. So now I'm going to use Control key and just unmask that. I no longer need the plane at the top, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to delete it out. Click OK. So we're just left with this. Now I want to use smoothing, so I'm pressing the Control key and I'm just going to go across this to make it better. Okay, that's good. All right, so we got something like that. And I think I'm going to divide it one more time. I've left smooth on, and I'm just going to click the divide button. And that looks good. So now what I can do is I can put this into a material. Just choose this chrome color here. I might want to make some slight modifications to that material. So if I go to material under modifiers, we can actually change some of these colors. I want to make it more of a grey color, so that's better. That looks better already. You might want to go and adjust your lighting, but we'll do that once things are in position. So now we've got that model there. I'm going to go save as, and I'm just going to save that in here. We'll call it Adriana, and I'll click save. Okay, good. Right, now what we need to do is we need to make sure that our image, our document size, is the same as our final image we're going to output. Now generally what I would do is I would take this across the Keyshot. Makes it much easier and you get much more of a professional result on rendering out. However, I've been asked if we can do it all inside ZBrush, which we can. So I'm going to take this image and I want to make sure that that size is correct, 858 by 858. I'm going to come back into ZBrush and I'm going to go to document and I want to go down to my size. I want to turn Pro off and make it 858. So we're basically making this document size, or this render out, the same size as the image, so everything will link up the same. So hit enter there and resize, click OK. We can zoom out a little bit here, and what I can do now is press Control N and re-bring that piece back in by dragging. Go straight into edit mode. Right, now we need to get this image in here to be able to reference it. So ZBrush makes it quite easy to do that. What we can do is we can go under our textures and we can come down to this thing called image plane. Now under here I'm going to leave the image size on 100%, and I'm going to open up this reference tab as well, and I want to make sure that front is clicked, and I want to load this image. I'm going to go and find that image. At the moment it's choosing PSD, which it isn't, it's the JPEG, so we need to select that. Actually it's a PNG file. Actually it's a PNG file, so I need to do a conversion to that image. So this one here, I need to just save this out as a JPEG. So I'm going to save this as, we're going to select JPEG, and we're going to save this one out as a JPEG. So I click save. Okay, back in ZBrush, here it is now, because I've selected it. Click open. Okay, and you'll see it'll appear in here. Now what we can also do under this tab is we can store the view. Right, now we're able to change the position of this. We can zoom in and out to put this into its position. So I'm going to get it at that angle, and we're going to kind of fiddle until it's correct. Something like that. Doesn't look too bad. All right, that's done. Okay, well, what I can do now to clear this, now I've got it into its position. Let me make it a bit smaller here. Now we've got it into its rough position, what I can do is I can clear the canvas to get rid of this view. So press Ctrl N, clear the canvas, but it will give us this. This is now in the referenced position. Now at this stage, what you could do is you could change your lighting. So if you want to change the lighting, you change the lighting, and you can also then do your BPR render. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to render this out now. That's rendered, and obviously you can change the settings to get a better quality in here, as we've done before. And I want to go to my render passes, and you can see that I've got it here. So I'm going to save this one out. Just going to save it in my images folder. Then I'm going to go to render again, and the other one that I want is the mask. Okay, you might want to save out an ambient occlusion as well, or a shadow pass if you want to. So we'll save, maybe we'll save the ambient occlusion. Oh, I haven't created one, but it doesn't matter, we could save that out. So now all we've got to do, if we come back to our image folder, we've got these two that have rendered out. So all I need to do now is come into Photoshop and go and open. Let me just close that. Open up our render, which is this. I can select all of this, select all, I can cut it, edit, cut, come back into here and paste, and it will be in the same position. Now I just need the mask, get rid of this black, so I'm going to go to open again, I'm going to bring the mask in, which is here. I'm going to go Control A to select all, or select all. I'm going to go to edit, I'm going to cut, I'm going to go back into here, I'm going to paste it in like that. So I've got a mask, I've got the render here and the mask here. Okay, now I'm going to select all, this mask layer, so select all, I'm going to copy it, Control C on the keyboard, or edit, copy, come down to this one, create a new masked layer there, press the Alt key and click on this white, and then go to edit and paste. Now if I click back in here, that will be removed. So now I can come in here, right hand click and duplicate this, duplicate layer, click OK, and let's just turn this off temporarily, move down here, zoom in, I use my clone brush, reduce the size down a bit, press the Alt key to select part of this. Hold on, I'm on the wrong one. This is my clone, a bit bigger. Alt key to select a sample. We can click this out like that. Something like that. Turn this one back on, and now we can just kind of position this. Make sure that you're on that layer. Let me just rasterize this layer first. I'm going to go create a new layer underneath there, and I'm going to click that and Control E or right hand click merge down, and that way it will be on its own. So I better move this into its position, something like that. You can also press Control T just to tweak it a little bit there and there. Double click, Control D to deselect. Might want a little drop shadow, so I'm going to come into here, layer style, drop shadow, reduce this back, take this depth and size down, something like that, click OK, go view 100%, and there we go, and then we can save that out as an image, and that's it, done.